Hey guys, it's Special K. This is a walkthrough for Void Rift for December 11th to 17th. There are 3 parts to Void Rift. The boss for Phase 1 is Aracha, and the faction with the bonus is the Cursed faction. The boss for Phase 2 is Crimson Helm, and once again this week, Cursed faction gets a bonus. The boss for Phase 3 is Torodor, and the Chaos faction gets a bonus. Hey guys, it's Special K. Going to do a walkthrough on Void Rift. I'm doing hard right now. You can do this with any difficulty, easy, elite, hard, or nightmare. The champions will just have to get a little bit better. The gears will have to get a little bit better depending on which one you're doing. So that said, let's just jump right into it. Right off the bat, there's a couple of rewards right away, some diamonds, some mithril, and you'll notice that here, all attributes of mage class increase by 20%, which is a big bonus for this level. This first boss over here. All right. So what I'm going to run with is a couple strong mages, a couple strong marksmen, 2 tanks, and a healer. This really could be, if you had 5 great mages, it could be 5 great mages because you're going to get that 20% bonus. And the setup is pretty specific to help keep everybody alive. All right, so here we go. Aracha is going to come in, and one of the things that she's going to do is she's going to throw rocks at your defenders and all of the spaces next to them. So we want to keep everybody out of this 3x3 square right here. So I get my Brokir or my best defender, depending on who it is. It could be Oleg for you, might be Baron. Doesn't really matter. Just your best defender here. Vortex all the way in the back. Okay. I'm going to put Silas there. We're basically going to do the same thing down here too, where we're going to put our second best defender. For me, it's Oleg. He's going to go here, and then we'll put Vierna here. Because you're going to get a couple of kamikazes that come out on both sides. And you need somebody that's good enough to tank both of those hits. It could be, Baron with his unyielding, and then Vortex can heal him back up. But you can see Oleg has no problem with it. No problem at all. Now here, you got to be careful who you put here, because you need someone who's got the corners. You can't have someone who's just got the 3 and then the center one. You look at a Vierna. Vierna's got the corner, so she's perfect for right there because she can hit all of the guys that are coming in for Oleg. All right, so here comes the first set of those rocks. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. But this whole channel here, these 4 spaces are perfect for them because nobody's going to get hit. So you just put your DPSs in there, phase 1 this way, phase 1 that way, and you're good to go. When I tried Nightmare, I had Setram here so that he could run both lanes, help out on both lanes. That worked too. You just want to make sure your DPSs are strong enough that there aren't, a whole bunch of guys hanging out, because once those kamikazes come through, they'll just start walking right through, and then you're going to lose your run because you only can let one. You really can't let anybody through. Everyone's got to get caught. All right, so here we go. We're at 8 out of 15. These 2 big guys come in. If I was to do this again, I probably would have pulled Hatset out and put Nocturne in, just so there's a little bit more damage, because you got Silas over here, and he's not getting that marksman. He's not getting that mage bonus. Nocturne would, and my Nocturne hits just about the same as my Hatset. So 10 out of 15, 2 more kamikaze coming on both sides. Everybody's going to get through just fine. You could pull Vortex's ult if you really had to, but that's it. 12 out of 15. It's really only 12 out of 14 because Aracha, once everybody is gone, is going to go ahead and walk right off here. So there's that. Cleaned it up. That's the first boss. All right, so here we go. We're on to the second fight. So this boss, you've got Aracha. It's going to come up the middle. She's going to do the same thing with the rocks. She's also going to do the deathly screech. That's going to poison everybody in here. So we're going to need to bring some more healing. So we're going to keep these core 5. We're going to keep Vortex, Brokir, Oleg, Vierna, Comet. We're going to bring in 2 more healers. We're going to bring in Hollow. We're going to bring in Madan. And then for this last 8th spot, we're going to bring in Setram. And this is another case where Setram's able to hit both of those lanes, so he's a huge help. All right, so first thing we're going to do is we're going to block up this top lane. We're going to put Oleg in. Doesn't matter which DPS you use. Both of these guys are so tanky. We're going to use Vortex to cover him here. It's important that Vortex goes here because we're going to end up putting our DPSs out on these 2 little pillars out on the end. That's going to keep them away from those rock falls, like you'll see right here, these falling stones. You'll see that if we put our DPS out here, like Vierna, there you go. Now she's not going to get hurt. So all your squishy folks are kind of out of the way for the most part. And Vierna is strong enough to handle these guys all by herself. So we're going to do the same thing down the bottom. Kier coming in. We're going to have Hollow directly across from Vortex facing this way. She's going to protect them and the DPSs out here. This is another one. You've got to be quick with getting rid of these ads because once they start coming, they can't pile up. There you see that's that first deadly screech. We don't have Madan in to clear this yet. So we're just going to have to heal up. Vortex will heal almost everybody. Brokir will take care of himself. And Comet went down just a little bit after, just a second after that deathly screech. Now we're going to bring in Madan. We're going to start building her rage up because she'll clear everybody except for the DPSs. But there's enough healing, hopefully, to keep them alive from these 2 in the middle. And you can see Hollow tanked that just fine. Setram will too. But the beauty of Setram's, wide range is that not only can he help here, but if he needs to, he can help down here too. And, in the top lane and the bottom lane. There's that deathly screech, Madan's ult, and she clears everybody off except Comet and Vierna. You can see they're taking a little bit of a knock, but we'll run his ult and everything's fine. Another set of falling stones comes in, and now we've got this kind of this triangle of healing that just is going to keep everybody alive. Between Vortex and Hollow and Madan are all healing each other, so they're going to do just fine. This one's pretty straightforward. There's not really anything that's, tricky that's coming up. There's not like some super close timing or anything that you have to do with your DPSs and their ults. It's just wait until these guys run up, kill them. There we go. There's another deadly screech. Madan does her thing, clears everybody off. Here we go. And then just keep pounding. And remember, the mages are getting a bonus in this. They're getting 20% bonus. So it's a huge help for them to just keep pounding damage out. When you look at the numbers that, Comet's doing 100 grand, 200 grand, a couple of those hits. And, Vierna's hitting for 65 too. So she's no slouch. All right. So yeah, this one's pretty much in the bag. It's just, we've got a triple of enemies up here. It's going to bang through those. There you go. And this is the last one. Now it's just Comet taking care of this guy. Setram's helping out a little bit. Get this finished off and we'll get on to the next fight. This next fight is really just a gold raid or an experience raid. Same as the others. There's nothing down here. I always check this. I don't know why. But yeah, same thing. It's going to have the kings, and you just get as much DPS out, as much block out as you can, and just keep on going right through. I like to kind of stack the middle. I'm lucky enough to have Arrogance and Valkyria, so they both got long pulls. Salazar in the middle, Wrath, and then just some platform DPS. Whatever works for you. This one's fairly easy, and this one we've all done it. Whether it's an EXP raid, it's a gold raid, should be no problems at all. Yeah, done and dusted. Now on that second one, I mentioned that we didn't have to worry about timing. It was all pretty straightforward. This one's completely different. This one has some timing stuff that you have to be really careful on. Calypso is the main boss here, and what she's going to do is she's going to come out of these lower portals. She's going to come up and around. Then she's going to sit with a shield and try and gain an extra seal zone. So what you have to do is you've got to knock that shield down before she goes. As far as ads go, she's got these Stitch carrions that come down from these middle ones. They're going to work their way down. Egon's Fanatic Swimmers are going to come straight down. And then you're going to get 2 flying lanes here. So we need a really specific set. We need 2 single target DPSs up top, in the middle, 2 AoE DPSs, a healer, someone for the aerial, and then 2 tanks. So what we're going to do here is we're going to take out the 2 healers. We're going to take out Setram. We're going to bring in Hotset, Nocturne, and then Brienne. Now the Calypso boss is going to hit the last person you place, so you have to be really careful with how you put things down. There's just enough time here with Nocturne, Brienne, and Vortex for you to get Vortex down before she hits Brienne, because 1 hit and Brienne is done. These are going to hang out for a little bit. We don't need to really put too much thought into them just yet. But we do want to get that Vortex down so that he can take that first hit and heal himself right up. Brienne is so good against airborne units. She's going to take care of these guys all by herself. You're almost not even going to have to think about them. So Nocturne's charging. As soon as she's in range, you want to hit, because she's already got a head start. She's already, by the time she gets into range, she might have 50% of her soul summoning done. See, there he goes. He hits. You can ult, and he's good to go. You see, we got Oleg down on this side already. And now we've got these 4 guys. We need to get Vierna, Comet, and Hotset down before we put Brokir, so that Brokir can tank the hits from Calypso when she comes back over this side. Because once we broke her shield, she runs away. You don't have to worry about killing her. It's another one of those things. You just got to get through her shield before she does the summoning. This guy's going to hold and wait, so we don't need to worry about rushing him down. I think we need, what do we need? 58, 70. We need to get to 70 cost points to put everybody down. And you can see here she shows up, so we got to start moving. Vierna down, Comet down, Hotset down, Brokir down. And now we don't have to worry about her hitting any of the squishy folks. And we've got everything in place to deal with some stuff. So use Vierna to get rid of those guys. That's going to allow Comet to focus on the boss, almost in range. There it is. Now ult. And as soon as she gets the shield down to 0, he'll run right back. So you want to be able to avoid that seal stone because every time she'll hit double. So we're just using, Hatzit's ult and Vierna's ults to keep everything down. Yeah, Nocturne's helping. Yeah, Comet's helping, but we don't want to use their ults on these ads. We want to save those for when Calypso comes back. I mean, I guess you can use Comets now. She's not going to come back over here. This really just becomes survival at this point. You've got this is the last pass through for Calypso. Brienne's doing her thing up here with the AoEs, the airbornes. And just cranking off these ads. We're at 24 out of 33, so we're just about done. There's a couple here, there's a couple here. Just about everybody's already out. I think there's 2 more stitched carrions after these ones. But this is another one you got to have a lot of DPS, because if they stack up, if you get more than 3 or 4, if they've got Oleg's Wall, both of my tanks have Oleg's Wall on them. They'll just walk through and they'll ruin your run. So at this point, 28 out of 33. We broke her last shield. She's gone. So now it just becomes a race, and we'll get rid of these last few ads and we're done. That area bonus for mages is real big here, especially, when you've got Vierna and Comet going. Last 2. Just ult with Comet, ult with Hatzit. Takes him out. That's it. Super easy on that one. All right, this second to last fight is another Calypso boss. This one's a little bit different. You're going to have Calypso is going to come from this bottom one. Pause for a soul stone. Then once you beat her, she's going to run over to this spot over here. Beat her again. Pause here. And then she's going to try and go in. All of the same mechanics. She still hits the last person that gets put down. These Egon's Fanatics are going to try and come from here and come up this way. The Dependents are going to float down this way. Then these Stitch Carrions are going to come from here. They hold here for a little bit. Then they move on. This one, I don't know if that one holds, but he just goes straight in, I think. And like I said, she's got all of the same mechanics. She's going to try and summon a seal stone here. Then she's going to try and summon a seal stone over on the other side. And she will still hit the last person you put down. All right, so we're going to get rid of a couple of people here. Comet's not coming. We're going to replace him with Hex. Hatzit's not coming. Brienne's not coming. Vierna's not coming either. We're going to put in Silas. Cetrum. And the last one we're going to put in is Wrath. He's going to deal with those Egon's Fanatics, the swimmers in that lane. And the beauty of Wrath on this one is he's A5, so he can just hang out there by himself. He doesn't need any help at all. It's awesome. So first thing we do, we get Wrath down, have him take care of this. Silas is real cheap. He goes here in the corner. As soon as Hex becomes available, we're going to throw him right up on this spot too. And Hex will put a couple of hits on, with the stun, he holds him back a little bit. And that gives Silas time to deal with this airborne before this guy's right on top of him. I put Vortex down. I don't know that he's really necessary, but no, strike that. He is necessary. Because he's going to keep Brokir and Oleg alive. I'm going to get Nocturne down next, so that he can start building some rage, because he's going to hit the boss when she's over on this in this top side. So you can see Wrath doing his thing, no big deal. Calypso comes out. We're going to ult with Hex as soon as her shield pops up. There we go. And we're just going to work her down and work her down. You can see she's hitting Rokir right now because he was the last guy we put down. Broke her shield. She runs over to this side. She's going to stop. Here's her shield. Nocturne's ready to go. Gonna hit her. Gonna be really quick. That's that. That's done. I'm gonna put Setram down right behind Vortex, and then I'm gonna put Oleg in to cover for Setram so that he doesn't get hit. She's gonna stop here for a Soul Stone. I don't have any solution on this. I don't think it needs a solution. I could maybe try pointing Setram out, but I'm concerned that I lose the time over here. It might be a little faster. I mean, he's stronger now. He's A5. He's absolutely amazing. He's over 100 kbp, so he's not typical, but he might be able to tank her here instead of waiting until she gets here. But she's still not going to hit Oleg hard enough to break through that shield. Especially with Vortex healing. But once she gets this Seal Stone, she's going to run over and she's going to try to break through these two defenders. Setram's going to come in and just wipe her. Yeah, see, she's not even touching his field. There you go. Gonna ult with Setram, and he is just going to murk her. It's just a buzzsaw, just right through everything. And she's gone. Little bonus, he even takes this guy out. So the reason I like Hex in this corner instead of Nocturne is he'll hit these aerial ads and will occasionally stun them too. So it gives Silas time to work around them. So here we are at 20 out of 24. 3 of them are up. Here comes the 4th. That's it. That's all there is to it. This one's pretty easy. It's just that you got to have the right people at the right time, and you need a lot of DPS. So your best single target nukers should be up in the top there. All right, on to the final boss for this phase 1. It's Aracha. Aracha is going to come from this left-hand lane. We're going to get ads that come in from these sides. We're going to get ads that come in from the right-hand top. We're going to have 2 spiders that come in both lanes. And Aracha does all of the things that she does. She's going to throw the rock. She's going to do the deadly screech. So we're going to change our loadout here a little bit. Again, that core 3, Vortex, Brokir, Oleg. We're going to bring Vierna. 2 more healers. We're going to bring Medan and Hollow. And Zealous on this one. Zealous is good because he can point sideways and hit both lanes. And then we're going to bring Comet too. So same thing as before. We want to keep that 3x3 square around our defenders as clear as we can. We can't really do much on this one because we've only got 6 spaces to work with. But we want to keep our healers, our big healers, out as much as we can. So I get Vortex down. I get Oleg Brokir down. These ads are going to start coming in from the sides. Now, we're going to do the same thing with the Falling Stones. 4 Falling Stones. I don't want to put Vierna down now. I want to wait until that 4th stone hits. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I can put her down. I'm going to face her up so that when these ads start coming in, she's hitting them earlier. Start working on this other lane. Oleg goes down. As soon as Hollow comes up, we'll put Hollow in that spot. The inner's ult is up. Pull it. And everybody dies. So there's Hollow. As soon as Zealous comes up, we'll lay Zealous. And he's going to start working on these ads here. And he'll also help with these ones here while Vierna's ult comes up. All right, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to place Zealous. We don't have any mechanism to deal with that Deathly Screech yet. Madan's still on the sideline, so we're just waiting for her. Zealous's ult comes up real quick. Lay Madan. And you can see Madan's going to cover our healers. We have that triangle of healing again where we've got Vortex, Hollow, and Madan all healing each other. And Madan will heal both lanes because she can heal backwards too. You see Zealous didn't make it through the stones. So I'm going to place Comet just so that he can start working on the spider, because there's another set of ads that's going to come in, and I got to get rid of everybody else before those ads come in, or they'll walk right past all Ulig. So you can see here that second spider's coming. The Deathly Screech coming, but we've got Madan, so we can just pop her ult. Everybody's covered except Vierna. Vierna's going to take some damage, but it's okay because we've got Vortex here and everybody else is pretty much all filled up. So you can see, even with a lot of DPS, I'm struggling here. And Vierna didn't make it through the Deathly Screech, but Zealous just came up right in time. So now we've got Zealous up. He can start, he's got that area attack, so he can start hitting everybody. Comet's going to start working on this guy over here. Aracha's still up here, throwing rocks at our defenders. But we've got all the healing we need. So it actually works out for me that Vierna dies from that Deathly Screech, because Aracha's going to come down this left-hand lane, and I can place her right out here, and it's no big deal. I'd much rather have her with her defense reduction. I'd much rather have her over here than Zealous. We got a Falling Stones coming. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now there's another set of Falling Stones that's actually going to hit both of them. So Vierna doesn't make it through there, but we're going to be okay. We're on to just the boss. You can see Comet died too. So here I'm just holding on. I'm waiting for these two to come up, for Vierna and Comet to come up, because that's where most of my damage is going to come from to walk the boss down. I can ult with Zealous. That's going to help. You get the defense down. He's going to start doing a little bit of work, but not anything like what these two are going to do. Got a Deathly Screech coming. It's going to go clear it with Madan. And these guys are just about up. So lay Vierna. You see, I waited. And I waited for the Rockfall and the Deathly Screech to go. And now I lay Comet, and this is just cleanup from here on out. That's Void Rift Phase 1. If you've got any questions, leave a comment down below. If I can help, I will. Hey guys, it's Special K. This is Nightmare Void Rift Phase 2. This is the Crimson Star version. Now, I don't want to give anyone the illusion that I'm doing this live. This is all pre-recorded. A lot of these took me a lot of time to get right. For this first one here, we're going to put Brokir down. I'm going to bring Hex. Just looking for strong single target magic dealer there. Whoever it could be. It could be Azoth or whoever works for you. Going to have Silas facing down. And when those healers come in, he's going to knock them off right away. You'll see it right here. Dropping Vortex for healing. Brokir's going to need a lot of healing here. These guys don't hit that hard, but these ones up here hit like trucks. Like they hit Brokir for almost 3/4 of his health. I'm gonna bring in Vierna, and one of the things Vierna brings is defense reduction. Gonna put Setram up at the top. He's gonna take care of these guys. Hits them really hard. He'll take a couple of knocks before we get Hollow down, but he'll still be fine. He'll get through just fine. Now, with these ads coming down, as soon as you hit them, they're going to speed up. So that's why we don't have anyone facing up, bringing all three of them at the same time. It would be tragic if they did. So you can see how hard he's getting hit. Thankfully, they're super slow. Hex also brings that slow and that stun, which is a big help here. And he hits for 300k, which helps too. Silas is going to take care of these healers. Got another ad walking slowly down. This time we get 2 of these mages, and these mages hit hard. So I'm going to alt with Silas. That's going to knock them down really quick. But you can see just how heavy. I mean, Brokir's in real trouble if Vortex isn't there to heal him up. Yeah, he's got a lot of shield, but it isn't even enough at times. Or the same, we got a mage up top, a healer coming in. See, look at him. He's right there. And he actually, does he go in? No, he doesn't go in. Alt with Hex, try to get rid of them. We're at 17 out of 27. Here, I want to make sure I knock that guy out as fast as possible. And we got 3 mages coming. So you know what I'm going to do. Alt with Setram. Just knock everybody down. Now we're getting really close. But this is where it gets hard. All right, those 2 are down. Now we've just got a few more ads to deal with, and then we're good. But what you'll notice is all 4 of these guys start moving at the same time. That's big trouble. Hex's ult is coming back up, which is a huge help. As soon as it goes, we pop it. Try and get rid of these guys before these guys come down, because that's a world of hurt if they all come at the same time. You see, Brokir died. I throw Oleg down. That's why I had him held in reserve, just in case. Knock that guy down. Vierna's ult. Just barely going to make it through. And there it is. Just barely made it through. If I hadn't held back Oleg, wouldn't have made it. I tried it with Oleg in there to begin with. He didn't have enough to keep going. So Hex does huge damage, and Cetrum comes in too. This one took me a long time to figure out. There's actually a trick here. I had Hex pointing up, figuring he can help up here and it would be a good thing. It's not. With the way these guys kind of slowly lumber in, you've got to keep moving them faster so that they're not piling up. So that because the first time that hits them, they're going to start rushing up. And I got enough going on up here that I don't have to worry about it really. I don't need the extra little help that Hex is bringing. You see how he starts speeding up, and it makes all this space in between. Okay, because we're going to focus on this guy until he's dead, and then Hex will go back and hit this guy over here. You don't have to worry about the healers healing down here. These guys don't have any hits on them. So that's all good. These flying ads are going to start coming out, these Crimson Guards. If you let these guys attack, they will just destroy the pedestal, any of the targets where your champs are. So you got to get rid of them as fast as possible. Luckily, I've got Cetrum over here. I've got Brienne, who's amazing against air ads, obviously, because she's a GR3 goddess. I throw in Aracha just to help, and you can see that down here, Hex and Vierna are doing just a fine job. Speed this guy up. Got Hex's ult, but I think I hold it for what's coming next. Now 6 of these Crimson Guards are gonna form over here. So I fire Brienne's ult, I fire Cetrum's ult, fire Aracha's ult, just to get rid of them as fast as possible so they don't corrupt these tiles, because I'm gonna have to come back over. So you can see Brienne and Aracha are on cooldown. We've got Hex and Vierna ready to go. This is kind of just more of the same. We got more of these healers coming down. Cetrum's going to do a great job of taking care of him. Oh, he's got a little ADHD. He wants to come over here and help, even though it's way out of his range. There's that. Brienne's up, so we're going to put her up. Aracha's up. Same thing. Okay, because that same thing, we're going to get some Crimson Guards that pop out, and then we're going to get the big volley of them. We're going to get the 6 Crimson Guards that come out at the same time. You can see here how close these two are. When I had Hex pointing up, they just came and they overpowered Brokir. They made it so that they were hitting him too hard and Vortex couldn't heal him in time. This way, we hit him once, he speeds up. You can see how the distance changes here. And that's the difference between a victory and a failed run. So we got those 2 Crimson Guards down here. The next one's going to be 6 of them up here. There you go. See it. Now we can bring him in because that last one had died. There's that. Here comes those Crimson Guards. So as soon as they all spawn in, I'm going to ult with everybody over here. Ult with Brienne. Ult with Silas. Ult with Aracha. Just to take care of them before they really mess up anything else. You can see we're at 26 out of 31, 27 out of 31. So we've got this last big guy, 2 healers, and that's it. This is just cleanup now. Hex is amazing for this. I assume Comet would probably be great too, but he's getting, I believe, an Infernal Lord bonus. All right, so we're going to get Brokir down. He's going to block the portal. Hex on the pedestal, facing left. We're just waiting for Setram to come up. Setram's going to do a lot of work because he's going to cover both of these portals on the right-hand side. Going to do a lot of work. He's going to take a lot of heat off of Vierna, too, who's going to be right in front of Hex, right to the left of Hex. Vortex for the heals. Fire off Hex's ult. And you can see they just they hit Brokir for 80% of his HP. I'm going to put Brienne over here on the left. She's going to cover the aerial adds that come in and the healers that come in from the left-hand side. Vierna pointing down. She's going to, her job's kind of twofold. She's going to help out with these big giant adds, and she's also going to help out with these mages. Because these mages, if you leave them be, they can wreck you. Put Silas right next to Setram, facing the same way as Brienne, just to help out. Does she need it? Probably not. Not bad to have, just in case. You can see I'm trying to figure out where to put Aracha. We get a few of those mages coming in. But Setram and Vierna make short work of them. Put Aracha here just for a little extra DPS on these mages. Everywhere else is pretty much covered. Brienne's got this side on lock. Setram's doing a great job over here, and Hex and Vierna are doing a great job up top. So a little extra help there isn't bad. You can see we get a few of the Crimson Guards coming in all at the same time. Brienne takes great care of them. Super easy. Some more mages coming in. And one of the things, Aracha's disposable in this, so it doesn't hurt to have someone who, can be the target for those mages and just take the hit. And if she dies, she dies. The run's not going to suffer for it. I'm going to ult with Setram, Silas, just to get rid of that guy. So 22-27, we're just starting to clean up. There are a couple more big guys coming. A couple more mages coming. So this is it. This is all the ads we're going to see. There's no one healing Aracha, so she ends up dying. And she brings Setram with her. If I had to do it over, I'd probably move her up one so that she could cover, she could be covered on Vortex's healing. You can see here, they've gotten through Brokir. I got just lucky enough that my DPS up top took care of it. All right, for fight 4, this is the boss fight. This is monstrously hard. This took me a long, long time to get right. So I've got Dolores, Setram, and Comet on this little bottom pedestal. Salazar's going in front of them. And And I'm going to let these ads just run all the way back to the portal. I'll deal with them there. I put Brokir down. We'll give him some healing with Vortex and bring Hex in as a DPS over here because he's going to take care of those guys just great. Now the boss comes in. Boss is going to do a wipe of everything in the area by him. So if we put anyone on this pedestal with 2, they're dead. Put Silas on the back of the pedestal, the top side of the pedestal. And that's going to make it so that when he does this move right here, that would wipe Silas out if he was in the front pedestal. Lay Hex down so that he can start taking care of these guys over here. Now I'm going to ult with Dolores, ult with Setram, ult with Silas, ult with Comet, and just race the boss to try and beat him. He's going to do another move. He's going to wipe out Dolores. But we've got enough damage that we can just make it. Salazar goes down. Boss is at 1%, 8. It's literally just racing. There we go. And he's beat. All that's left now is the ads. Okay. We're going to clear everybody out on this left-hand side so that we can use them over here on the right. I'm going to speed up this part of the run just because there's a lot of waiting for these guys to come back. There's a lot of waiting for the ads to come up. All right. Everybody's starting to come up. So I laid Dolores. I lay Comet facing right so that he can focus on whoever's attacking Brokir. You see, I'm waiting. I don't want to lay Silas and have this guy start speeding up. So if I can deal with this guy by himself, I will. I'm going to lay Silas facing up. And Silas's role is really just to tank to take down the healers that are going to come. Because if you don't put him here, you're going to end up with one of the big guys in front of Brokir and he'll be healing him. And that's not good. That's a bad. At this point, I just throw Setram in because more DPS is great. He's also going to help with those pesky ads that come in. These guys here, these healers. But you see, I mean, they heal for 480,000. So it's almost impossible to hit these big guys while there's healers out. So Setram and Silas are working together. Get that done. Brokir died. But we're in a race right now. Thankfully, there's a big, long pause in the middle of this. Because without this long pause, I don't complete this run.
A few moments later.
And you can see right as those next ads come, Brokir comes back up just in time. And I've got Dolores's and Hex's ults ready to go. I fire off Setram, who starts taking down those ads, thankfully. I've ulted with Dolores. I ult with Hex. She takes care of it. This last guy comes out, and it's done. That's the end of the run. So that's phase 2 of Nightmare Void Rift. This is the Crimson Star phase. This was by far the hardest thing I've done in this game so far. Harder than 917, harder than just about anything in the game. I'm going to collect those last rewards, move on to phase 3. I hope you'll check it out. I hope it helps. See you on the next one. All right, this is Nightmare Void Rift, stage 3. This is the Torodor version. All right, this first fight, what we're going to do is we're going to bring 2 defenders, a couple of DPSs, a couple of healers. We're bringing Oleg, Hex, Silas, Hollow, Vortex, Brokir, Setram, and Nocturne. All right, first things first, we're going to cover this top lane with Brokir. Brokir is my best defender. You can put your best defender up there too, whether it's Oleg, whether it's Baron, whoever it might be, King Hars, whoever you need, Torodor. I'm going to put Hex next to him so he can take care of that lane. I'm going to bring in Vortex for the heals, and he's going to cover everybody. I'm going to ult with Hex just to get rid of this first Baron Salem. Place Oleg. Silas is going to do the bulk of the damage in this bottom lane. We'll end up putting Setram right in the middle too, and he'll help out. So here we go ahead and lay Setram. Setram's going to be able to cover both lanes. It's one of the beauties of Setram's wide range. Is, he's got 5 wide coverage here that he can hit. And that makes him useful in either lane, wherever he's needed. Go ahead and ult with Silas. I'm going to throw Hollow in for a little bit more heal and some rage regen. And you can see the combination of Hex and Setram is working just fine up here. So I'm going to take Nocturne and I'm going to place him here just to add a little bit more DPS in this lower lane. I ult with Hollow just to get some more rage regen on Silas. Not that he really needs it, but it's bringing Nocturne up too. This first phase is pretty easy compared to the later stages in this phase. It's this one's pretty easy, and the timings aren't super critical. By the time you get to the boss, the timings are incredibly tight, and the champs that you need and their roles are incredibly tight too. For a couple of these phases, these stages in this phase, if you don't have a long-range fighter like an Arrogance or a Valkyra or a Bazillatu, you're going to have some real problems. It's going to be a real challenge to get these done. So here I ult with Nocturne. He's just knocking everything down. We've got more of these Baron Salems coming up, and they hit hard, but not anything that Brokir can't handle. Brokir's really, really tanky. I think he's got 10k defense, 90,000 HP or something like that. With Hex, just to kind of stay on top of things. You don't want these piling up. You don't want to be taking multiple hits from these guys at the same time. Silas and Nocturne have this lower lane where you almost don't even need to think about it. Get 12 out of 18 down. Nocturne's ult's coming back up, and that just helps take care of it. That gets rid of that guy real quick. Another big boy upcoming. Do some rage regen with Hollow. At this point, we're just about done. Everybody's got their ults ready. We got a Silas ult ready. We got a Setram ult. We've got a Hex ult. So this is just a case of, ult with Setram, take care of this one last guy in this lower lane. And now it's just a case of just mowing down these Baron Salems and moving on to the next. So we're going to ult with Hex. His ult is so long that we're going to be able to take care of this guy and the next guy. Might as well go ahead and ult with Setram. And he just tears things down like a buzzsaw. He's incredible. Just so much damage. And so fast. It's just amazing. That's it. All right, that's it for the first stage. For the second stage, we're going to bring Wrath, Arrogance, Brokir, Hollow, Vortex, Oleg, Setram, and Zillitu. This is where your long-range fighters will really come in handy. We're going to put Brokir up in this top lane. We're going to put Vortex facing up so that he covers Brokir and Zillitu behind him. And the reason we're prioritizing this top lane is when the boss comes down, he's going to come down in this lane. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put Oleg in. Oleg's going to cover the bottom. Arrogance in behind Oleg. And again, you can see that these long-range fighters are huge help here because there's nothing else up in this top lane. It's just Zillitu doing all of the damage up there. We're going to have some help from Setram and Wrath in this bottom lane, but the top is just Zillitu. You can see the shadow copy here. Zillitu is wearing Crystal of Vileness, so she gets that little shadow guy every 20 seconds. You can see between Arrogance and Wrath, this bottom lane's all but handled. Zillitu's handling this top lane all by herself. Brokir's just there as a meat shield, really, for Zillitu. Bring Setram in. It's funny, they've changed so many of the bosses. This used to be Baron, and now it's unnamed faceless guy. But you can see the damage that Zillitu does to him. She just absolutely destroys him. She's still in her ult, but he revives with 100%, and he's going to come in and throw these big combos at her. But no issues at all. Now she's able to start doing some more work on him. Shadow Copy comes in. Shadow Copy's doing work. Don't discount Crystal of Vileness on Zillitu and Arrogance as well. If you're not using them in Guild Boss, it's great as opposed to Scarlet Hunt. I even think for Zillitu that Crystal of Vileness is better than Scarlet Hunt everywhere in the game. So we've got all these DPSs down below because this is where a lot of the ads are coming in, but it's not, they're not as heavy as this guy up top. And Zillitu can handle this all by herself. So we just got to make sure that none of these guys get through. And then we're good to go. So we're at 19 out of 23. This is just clean up. The boss is dead. Just a case of waiting out these last 4. Three left. 2 left. 1 left. One last ult with Zillitu, just finishes them off. And there it is. All set. Zillitu does a lion's share of the work on it. Arrogance too. Arrogance puts in a lot of work too. All right, let's move into this third boss. All right, for this third boss, we're going to bring Arrogance, Salazar, Volca, Oleg, Vortex, Zillitu, Brokir, and Hollow. I don't use Volko a lot, but I like her in this one. She holds her own in this lane, and she brings a lot of healing to the team, which is super helpful. So she goes down first. She's going to tank that whole lane. She's going to have Zilla 2 behind her for anything that gets past her, but Zilla 2's main function is actually a little different. So we've got Salazar in that little channel facing up. Now I'm going to lay Broke here. Oleg. And the placement on Oleg is important here. Okay, what we've done is we've let that vertical channel open so that our long-range fighters can hit across that lane. It's the only way this works. It allows them to do double duty. Zilla 2 is going to be able to handle any overflow that gets past Volka. She's also going to be able to cover Oleg's lane. And the same thing with Arrogance. Arrogance is going to cover that bottom portal, keep the guys out of it, but he's also able to help in the middle. So we're able to cover 3 lanes with 2 DPSs. And when you've only got 8 guys to work with, that's huge. So here you can see they're working around. And again, that shadow copy does work too. That shadow copy is actually stronger than Zilla 2. So they're putting in great work. You can see I've held out Zilla 2's ult for this boss. And the combination of Arrogance and Zilla 2 just mow him down. The burning's helping. The shadow copy, depending on where it spawns, can help. Like that placement didn't help at all. But if he spawns behind him, it's going to be a huge help. So he's going to do the same thing as the last boss. When you get him down to 0%, he's going to die, fall to a knee, respawn. And then he's going to do this whirl that, had our defenders been closer, had we not, say we hadn't used, long range defenders, they'd get just chewed up with this. But having them further back, they're out of range of it. I put in Hollow just for a little bit of healing, and I brought her, so why not? It's really not necessary, but doesn't hurt to put her in. She can help with some rage regen on Zilla 2. Here you can see the shadow copy did spawn in behind him, so it did a bunch of damage. That does it for the boss. Now it's just a case of cleanup on these last 2. We're just waiting for Salazar's ult to come up, and he'll just drop them right away. Didn't even need the ult. All set. By now you should know the drill on these. These are just gold raids or EXP raids. Real easy. Same concept. Just as much straight line block as you can. Bunch of DPS, and it'll just fly right through it. Reeve is huge for this. I actually use Reeve in both my EXP and gold raid. Partially because of the bonus that he gives, but also because he slows, he self heals. He's a great defender for this. He's also really good for guild wars. And Razak is another one. Razak gives you a bonus in gold raid and EXP raid as well. So I try to sneak Razak in. If I've ever got a comp where I have a spot I don't need, I try to sneak Razak and Captain Reeve in. If I can only get one, then I only get one. But if I've got 2 extra slots and I can stick him in there, I get an EXP bonus and a gold bonus, which is super helpful. I don't know why I did this run at 1 times. I'm going to speed this up so you guys don't have to sit through this. Oh, that was painful. I promise you that's the last time I ever do one of those at one time speed. This is the final boss of the third phase of Void Rift. This is Torodor. There's also Lasir on another version of this phase. Let's take a look at the champs that we used and the strategy that got us through. All right, we're bringing Oleg, Valkyra, Regulus, Salazar, Vortex, Brokir, Setram, and Zilla 2. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use Regulus as our tank on this bottom portal. We're going to bring in Valkyra, facing up. She's going to fire across not only Regulus's lane, but also this top lane, which is where the boss and a couple of the heavier adds come from. I'm going to bring in Vortex for some heals. Valkyra is going to do a great job of taking care of these adds. They're going to respawn after they die, and she'll handle them no problem at all. But we can ult with her. That's going to give her some more damage on this middle lane, and it's going to take care of these two. As soon as Setram's available, get him up on the pedestal. We need him to have as his ult up for when the boss comes. He's gonna play a huge role in taking care of the boss. I place Silas here. He doesn't need to be facing down. Salazar here. He doesn't need to be facing down. I'm going to place Oleg here. And this is important. This really needs to be Oleg. If you're doing Void Rift, you get Oleg. When you get up to Nightmare, there's no substitute here. This has to be Oleg. Just because of how he is with his shield. And he constantly gives himself shield. So as you can see, Valkyria's done a little bit of damage to this guy, this ad coming in. But we're going to bring in Zilla 2 to really do some damage to him. You saw we ulted with Salazar. That made it so that we can knock even more damage off of these guys. When Salazar dies, you replace him with Brokir. Here comes the big boss. As soon as the big boss moves into range, we're going to ult with Setram so that he can start just tearing him down. So there you see, he takes care of the ad in front of him. We ult with Zilla 2. She's going to help out. And this is where Oleg comes in so huge, because he can just tank these hits, get down to almost nothing, and then all of a sudden come right back to full health with that shield. You can see we wore out Setram's ult, but Zilla 2 is still in hers, and she's doing just fine. And she's going to be able to whittle away, and Setram's back up now after his little rest period, and that'll take care of that. As soon as the boss dies, we despawn Oleg and Zilla 2. I also despawned Brokir. And now what we're going to have is that he's going to come over to this fireball, and he's going to start summoning adds in these lower two lanes. So we've got time for these guys to get back up. One of the reasons that I despawn Brokir is I want to put Oleg back up here, but I want to keep Brokir in case Regulus dies so that I can throw him in as a replacement. With Zillitu, we're going to end up putting her right behind Salazar over here. So Salazar and Zillitu are going to take that boss down for the second time. So Oleg up in the top, Zillitu right behind. And now you can see we've still got Brokir if we need him, just to help fill in. And if we keep him here, Valkyria will still hit those ads. So you see his Flame Fusion is almost done. We've done a great job of keeping up with the ads. Regulus is low, but he's going to do just fine. Vortex is healing him like crazy. He's also got some unyielding mechanics that's going to help out. Here you go. Boss is at the top. We alter with Salazar. Really cranking down. Zillitu's in her ult, and as you can see, she's just doing massive damage. Salazar goes down, but it doesn't matter because he's just about done. 2.5. He's got a little heal mechanic as well, but it's not going to be enough. So now it's just clean up on this last ad down here. And that's it. That's Void Rift, Nightmare, finished. Whatever level you're doing, these strategies work. You can take these strategies and adjust them if you're doing any other level and just bring lesser champs or not need the gear that's needed. But the strat works. I hope you can find a way to adapt it. If you need my help, just leave me a message in the comments. I love answering comments. And I hope you can get through Void Rift too. Hope it helped. Catch you on the next one.